This video was for Mastery and Homework 1.2, Adding Whole Numbers. We first look at whole numbers and adding them. What we're looking at is we want to put them in groups and we add them together. They're like items. Here, notice that 4 is called an addended. 3 is also an added. Our result is a sum. 4 plus 3 is 7. We are putting things together in groups that are similar. We look at keywords and symbols to make expressions for addition. We will do this for all of our operations in math. If you notice the English phrases on the left and the translation into symbols on the right, you have to be very careful on some of these. For instance, 6 more than 9 actually translate into 9 plus 6. Any time that you see the word than, you're actually going to switch the order of the numbers. Because if you notice, in the English phrase, 6 comes before 9. But in the translation into symbols, 9 is ahead of 6. This is because of the word than. 6 more than 9 becomes 9 plus 6, because we're adding 6, increasing that 9 by 6. The sum of some number, doesn't matter what number, and 7. Anytime you have something that says some number, that means to put a variable in there. Now then, be careful. Make sure that you watch your instructions. Many times that it will tell you to use an X or an M, something of that nature. Make sure that you watch what it's asking for. In this case, it does not tell us, but the sum of some number, in this case I used X, and 7. That's X plus 7. The word sum means to add. The third example, 4 increased by 2. Well, increase is also another definition of addition. So 4 plus 2. 3 added to a number. So here again, we just have a number. We're going to use a variable. In this time I used n. N plus 3. That is because we're adding the 3 to the n. So you have to be careful on this one. 3 added to the number. 1 plus a number. Okay, 1 plus a number, doesn't matter, x, n, anything. Let's look at a couple of examples. Translate each English phrase using numbers and symbols. The sum of 8 and 4. A number increased by 3. The proper way to translate these is like this. The sum of 8 and 4 is the same thing as 8 plus 4. A number increased by 3 is x plus 3. Now here again, since I did not specify it, you could have used n, m, any letter here for the number. A very popular property in addition is the commutative property. What this does is allows us to change the order of the numbers. Two numbers can be added in either order with the same result. A plus B is the same thing as B plus A. We're going to see that in several examples. Think of commutative as a commute. We're moving them around. Here are a couple examples. Use the commutative property of addition to rewrite each sum. 9 plus 5 can also be rewritten as 5 plus 9. Now notice the instructions did not ask us to solve the problem. You do have to be very careful and watch for these things in your homework. Make sure you do exactly what the instructions ask of you. 7 plus x is the same thing as x plus 7. Your answers are going to be the exact same. If I take 9 plus 5, add those together, I will get 14. Or if I have 5 and add 9 to it, I will still get 14. Same way down here, if I knew what x was, I would have the exact same thing. Another property that we use in addition is the associative property. When we add 3 or more numbers, the addition may be grouped in any order. Notice here that I have in parentheses a plus b with plus c on the outside of the parentheses. That is the same thing as if I would get the same result as if I said a plus and then put the b plus c in parentheses. I can do these in any order. Associative means I'm changing the grouping. I'm associating different numbers with each other, changing that grouping. So let's look at a couple of examples. Use the associative property of addition to rewrite the sum, and then simplify. Simplify means to solve it or break it down as much as we can. Here I have x plus 4 in parentheses plus 8. Well, I can't do anything with this x plus 4 because I don't know what x is. But I've got this plus 8 sitting out here. So I want to rewrite that as x plus, and then put the 4 plus 8 in parentheses together. Because now then I can do this. I can say, okay, what is 4 plus 8? Well, that becomes 12. And my result is x plus 12. That's as far as I can go because I cannot add x to 12. When we're evaluating algebraic expressions involving addition, what we're doing is replacing the variable, the letter, with whatever number it asks us to. And then we're going to simplify or solve. So what we're doing is just replacing those variables. For example, evaluate x plus y plus z if x is 11, y is 18, and z is 15. We need to separate a little bit of information here first. First, we have the expression x plus y plus z, which I have rewritten down here for us to look at. Then we have some other information in the problem. It tells us that x is 11. Okay. What that tells me is I'm going to replace this x with 11. It also tells me that y is 18. So my y will actually become 18. And z is 15. And so I will replace this z with 15. Once I do so, I will then be able to add, as I have done here. Notice, x was replaced with 11, y was replaced with 18, z with 15. And then I'm going to add those up, and I will get 44. We'll begin adding in just a moment, but this is how we replace our numbers, or I'm sorry, our variables with our numbers. Now then, adding whole numbers when carrying is needed. In the last example, we actually needed to be able to use carrying. What I mean is, our numbers in a certain column have too many for that particular column, so we have to carry. What we want to do is first arrange the numbers vertically, lining up the digits according to place value. Make sure that all your ones are in one column, all your tens are in another column, hundreds in another column. If you need to, get graph paper and use the grids. This helps you keep everything in alignment. Then we're going to add first the digits in the ones column. When we're adding, we add from right to left. We add from our smallest digits place and then move left. So let's look at this example. Add 68 plus 25. Okay, not real handy to add it this way, so the first thing I'm going to do is write it vertically. This helps me. What I want to look at is, okay, 8 plus 5, what is 68 plus 25? Another way of looking at this is that this is 6 tens and 2 tens, 8 ones, and 5 ones, because those are the columns or the digits that those are in. The 6 is in the tens digit, the 8 is in the ones digit. So if I add the ones digits, that's 8 plus 5, that would give me 13 ones. 6 and 2 would give me 8 tens, as you see here. But I can't have a double digit here. That gives me a problem. Remember from the first video that we can rewrite this in expanded notation. This is the same thing as 8 tens plus 1 10 plus 3 ones. Now I can add my tens together, and I'll get 9 tens and 3 ones, which is 93. That is one way of adding. There are many different ways of adding. If you need to see another one, please call one of us over. We'll be glad to show you. Another thing that we do is we need to find the perimeters of geometric figures. The perimeter is the distance around the object. A triangle, a rectangle. This is called the perimeter. To find the perimeter of the object, we just add all the lengths of all its sides. So for example, find the perimeter of the triangle. So if we have one side that's 6 feet, one side that's 7 feet, another side that's 9 feet. Or if I want to find the perimeter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the lengths. 6 feet plus 7 feet plus 9 feet. That will give me 22 feet. Let's look at another example. Find the perimeter of the figure not shown. Now then remember, the perimeter is the outside part. That does not include this part right here. Also notice I don't know the length of this side or the length of this side. I actually have to first find those lengths. So I may have to either do some addition or some subtraction in here. If I know that this entire length right here is 300 feet, and I know that this length is 110 feet, I can determine that this length up here is the total 300 feet minus 110 feet. I can also tell that this is your total length, vertical length. And if this length is 70 feet and this length is 90 feet, then this total length would be 70 plus 90 feet, giving me the two new figures of 190 feet and 160 feet. You can always double check yourself. 110 feet plus 190 feet, that does equal 300 feet. Also, 70 feet plus 90 feet, again, does equal 160 feet. So whenever I want to find the perimeter, I want to add up all the lengths on the outside. That would mean my 190 plus my 160 plus my 300 plus my 70 plus my 110 plus my 90, which gives me a total of 920 feet. You will have a chance to practice all of these in your homework. If you have questions, again, please either watch the other videos, view other examples, or ask us any questions that you might have.